Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. About to get this started.
Now, I would like to talk with you about two very dangerous forms of gaslighting that you need to look out for, that we all need to look out for, not only in narcissistic abuse, but just in life in general. The goal of this video is to be able to help you to identify when you're experiencing gaslighting, and so you can know how to handle the situation. My name is Kevin, and this is The Royal We. Now, before I get into this message, I want to let you know that I am taking one-on-one appointments. Down in the description box, you will find access to my calendar where you can schedule some one-on-one time with me. So head on down there after this video. Now, there are, in fact, a lot of ways in which gaslighting can occur, and we know the term gaslighting because of narcissistic abuse. However, are you aware that gaslighting is typically happening all around us all the time? And so I want to share with you at least two gaslighting methods that we experience quite a bit, but we don't oftentimes look at it as gaslighting. And so after this video, well, hopefully you will, and you'll know how to respond appropriately. The first type of gaslighting that is very dangerous that we often come across is invalidation. Everybody say that with me, invalidation. Now, this is the most common referred to gaslighting experience that you have in narcissistic abuse or in toxic relationships. Invalidation is invalidating your concerns, your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs. And now, this is the most typical thing that we come across, and I'll give you an example of invalidation. Invalidation would be when you know that something is wrong in the relationship that you're experiencing. Perhaps you just experienced some narcissistic rage. You know the person is upset. You know something is wrong. And so you want to go and confront the situation in a healthy way. Why wouldn't you? You were just raged at. And so you're going to bring up your concern. And probably in a way that's like this: hey, is everything okay? I want to make sure that we're all right. And when you are in an abusive relationship with a narcissist, the response will typically be, yeah, everything's fine. What are you talking about? And you will say, well, you seem kind of angry. No, I'm not angry. You're crazy. I'm not angry. I'll let you know when I'm angry, okay? That right there is called invalidation. It's invalidating your concerns, which are genuine, right? Who wouldn't be concerned after they are raged at? Right? So you have a valid concern, but it's invalidated by a toxic narcissistic person who is pretending that nothing happened. This is a very dangerous form of gaslighting because it does, in fact, start to make you feel like you're going crazy. You're thinking, wait a minute, I know you are upset. Why won't you tell me what the reason is? Why won't you just talk with me about it? Well, because gaslighting. In toxic relationships, narcissistic people don't want you to think that there's anything wrong with them. They would rather you believe that you're just crazy. And oftentimes this is what happens, and it keeps you stuck in the relationship. But that's not where invalidation begins and ends. We experience invalidation all the time, maybe with certain types of things that you may not want to put into your body. Maybe at some point in life before you started drinking or smoking, and maybe you were concerned and you had genuine, valid concerns, but people around you were going, no, that's dumb, that's silly. What are you concerned about? Nothing bad. Everybody does this, right? The further down that path we go, we get into what's typically called peer pressure, but it in fact is invalidation. It's invalidating your genuine, authentic concerns that each and every one of us are born with out of our own discernment. And this can break down our walls, our boundaries very, very quickly around people. It's called gaslighting. And now this should open up a whole new realm of gaslighting in your world so that you can know how to identify when somebody is invalidating your genuine concerns in life, things that you would rather not get involved in, and you're looking for validation, because a healthy person will be able to say, okay, you have concerns. Let's talk about your concerns. At the very least, a healthy person will ask you, help me understand your concerns better. Right? So when you're just being met with, I don't know what you're talking about, you're crazy. That's gaslighting. Or you have nothing to worry about. Your concerns are invalid. It's invalidation. It's gaslighting. All right. So
we've heard a lot of that, huh?
Take that. I also encourage you down in the comment section, by the way, leave your examples of how you were invalidated in a gaslighting experience. All right, now let's move on to the next one that's not as common, but just as important and just as dangerous. And this is called prompting. Prompting. Everybody say that with me. Prompting. Prompting comes in the form of leading questions and leading statements. And it's actually a real thing. As a matter of fact, in legal circuses or courtrooms or whatever, they often use this as a tactic, as a matter of fact, to pin people into certain directions, right? Prompting is exactly what it sounds like. It's wanting to get a desired and specific answer or response or view out of you. And yes, narcissistically abusive people do this in toxic relationships. Whether they know they're doing it on purpose or it just comes out of them, it doesn't matter. The point is, you need to understand when you are being prompted, when you are dealing with a leading question, for example. Let me give you an example of a leading question that I received in a toxic relationship. This was after I was trying to distance myself because I realized the relationship was getting very toxic, getting very hostile. And for whatever reason, I was having difficulty because of the dynamic of the relationship. So I would have to go back in every now and then. One of the comments I received is a leading question. It was this: you miss being here, don't you? Right? This is a perfect example of a leading question. You miss being here. It's putting in a thought into your mind. It's projecting a thought into you that you never had, and then asking a question that supports that thought. You miss being here, don't you? You can also hear things like, you like that type of stuff, don't you? You like it when people call you names, don't you? You like causing problems, don't you? These are called leading questions, planting a thought inside of you, and then a question that supports that thought. These thoughts are thoughts that don't come from you. They're not thoughts that you have. Again, in my personal experience, I was trying to get away, but it caught me off guard with this thought that was being thrown onto me, a leading question, right? A thought that was thrown onto me, followed by a question that supports that thought. Now, there's also leading statements.
I would say that very much so. This is something that a lot of the red pill community uses against their guests when they have them on their panels. So that's one thing to look for. But in real life, this definitely comes up when somebody, basically, it sounds like prompting equals accusation of something that you feel like you're going to say yes to anyway.
Statements are just as damaging as leading questions. The leading statement would be, you know, if you really don't like this relationship, then you should leave, but you won't. That is a perfect example of a leading statement. It has the facade of giving you independence, but it's telling you what you will and won't do. So the purpose of leading questions, the purpose of leading statements, the purpose of prompting you is to, in fact, strip you away of your independence. Because in toxic relationships or anywhere you experience the gaslighting technique of prompting, it's not about you and what you really want or your true thoughts. It's about you conforming to what is needed by the toxic individuals around you. So be on the lookout in relationships in general, in the world in general, for leading questions, leading statements. It is, in fact, gaslighting. Now, for those of you who have experienced gaslighting in the form of prompting, leave your example down in the description box. Share it with others so that we can gather more information about prompting as a form of gaslighting. And yes, all of this is, in fact, a form of gaslighting, which gaslighting is meant to separate you from yourself in effort to gain control over you as an individual, stripping you away of your authenticity, stripping you away of your independence, and putting you in this place of being malleable and controllable. So we want to be able to identify when we are experiencing gaslighting, not only toxic relationships, but anywhere, and know how to get out of the situation. You can stand back. You don't have to play along. You don't have to listen. You can walk away. Even if you don't have a response at the moment, that's fine. Just get up and walk away. Don't listen to it. Pay it no attention. That discomfortable or uncomfortable feeling of disgust that you have in these situations is there for a reason. Listen to that feeling and get out, right? Listen, I want to be a part of your healing journey. Down below in the description box is access to my one-on-one calendar. You can set up a FaceTime, WhatsApp, or a telephone call. Also down below is access to Monday Night Live chat. And Saturday morning is Royal We Fellowship. All of this and more. By the way, follow me on Instagram at Join the Royal We. You can find all of this down in the description box, and I'll be back with more videos for you right here on the Royal We.
Like she's connected to Andrew Tate. Like they were connected beforehand. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how those circles work, but you know, the right wing commentary community is a community in and of itself. So first, let me just say one thing: all pimps are rapists. All pimps are abusers. This is not a like Hugh Hefner included. I think I mentioned before. I worked in anti-sex trafficking for 3 years. And while like I grew up in the era of Too Short and the Players Ball and Pimps Up, Hoes Down, and a lot of like glamorization of like black pimp culture that happened in the 90s and probably happens to an extent now, you know, the fashion, the gaudiness, and that's still like a cool thing that is a product of that era. Please don't, lose track of the fact that all pimps are rapists and abusers. You cannot convince a woman to sell her body and then give you the money without some type of physical or emotional violence. You cannot do it. It is not possible. Okay, it's either the threat of physical violence, emotional manipulation and violence, or coercion. That's how it happens. That's why they hate OnlyFans.
That's what happened to that young lady that Big Boss coerced and harassed in Brazil. That's why he is who he is. Not a good person.
You know what I'm saying? And it's funny because like Andrew Tate ran a webcam business, and like as more details come out, like it's so clear this was a pimping, a prostitution ring. And I know this again, having worked in anti-prostitution before. Like he made all his girls get tattoos of his name or some symbol. Like that's a thing that pimps do to their girls. It's a part of manipulation. It's a part of dehumanizing the girls to make them more amenable to the type of treatment they get used to. It makes them less likely to leave because they feel marked by their pimps. And so, like, there is no actual consent there because they pursue vulnerable women in the first place. They pursue women who are financially and socially isolated. Think about it how we think about like boys that fall into the manosphere, right? These are people that are socially isolated and looking for opportunities to belong and feel value. And you get a guy like Andrew Tate or any typical lover boy pimp, has a really flashy lifestyle, generally attractive, used to talking like this, and they smother you with gifts and love, and then they break you. That's what happens. So I'm a sex worker. I'm not super into the conflation of prostitution with trafficking. People can be and do consensual sex work. Yes. So like, I'm not saying, I want to be clear. I'm not saying that sex work is prostitution, because prostitution is a legal term. I don't like using that term in general. We call it sex work when we're talking about sex work that happens with women who have agency or are not alienated from the work that they are doing. We like to call that sex work. That's labor. That should be protected, supported, celebrated. Trafficking, pimping, whatever you want to call it, is exploitation. That's when a person, in this case, a man, figures out a way to exploit someone's body sexually. And also labor, there's also labor exploitation, et cetera. But we're just talking about, to keep it simple.
This is exactly what dude did. This is exactly what Big Boy did.
We're talking about using, again, violence, coercion, and manipulation to convince a person to sell their body and then give you the money. And so I say all this to say that Candace Owens's stick here about, maybe they wanted to, it just doesn't hold up to reality. That's what they say. That's what's going to be his defense, that these girls wanted to do this, that they wanted to be a part of this community. They wanted to, and that's like in some realm true. We look at, like, you go back to the R. Kelly case, it's a very similar situation. Once you've been like inundated into these cult-like situations, it feels like you're there willfully. The hardest thing about anti-sex trafficking was breaking the hold that pimps had on their victims. Like the stories I could tell of girls that were being rescued that literally thought their victims basically had that thought their pimps had supernatural powers. The Stockholm syndrome. But I don't want to call it Stockholm syndrome because I don't know if that it perfectly fits. I'm just not as educated enough. So I won't call it that, but it's probably similar. But like literally the belief that their pimps could like appear out of nowhere, could control the weather, could control airplanes, could mind control people, that they had spies everywhere. Like there would be girls that we would be like, they would literally be in custody, like we'd be surrounding them with as much safety as possible, but mentally they would never feel safe because the process of breaking someone down like that, first it starts with a predisposition for exploitation, which is one of the reasons why I hate most conversations around like sex trafficking and exploitation that like start with, ooh, it's a white van, people are getting snatched off the street, which is true. Like I'm sure there are people that get snatched off the street. But the vast majority of girls and boys caught up in sex trafficking are not snatched. They're collected. They are wayward. They have broken home lives. They have high levels of destitution. And so they are prone to, and then there are people, pimps like Andrew Tate, will find those people that know.
Andrew Tate and the Passport Bros core system. What I mean is that it seems that in my travels I find a lot of men who aren't really passport bros, but they call themselves passport bros because they think it's cool. It's kind of like passport bros is like the pimp culture of urban travel. That's the best description I can give for you. Let me say that one more time. the passport bros is the pimp culture of urban travel. Even though, hey, you guys put yourself into the mix. I can't defend you or say, well, he says he's a passport bro, but at the same time, he doesn't abuse women. I can't say that because that's what the core unit of the passport bro does. They exploit women to the extent that it's basically, if there was somebody, if the country wasn't so forgiving, these men might have already been in, let's say, big trouble. So if you want to relate to this passport bro definition that I'm referring to, which is the core gentleman, like Big Boss, like Austin Holloman, if you want to roll with them, just remember you have to roll with their reputation as well. They, you have to roll with that Tate reputation as well, because that's how they roll. They've said it 1,000 times. All you need to do is play back the tapes. It's up to you to let the tape, if for you to let the tape tell you what's going on. There is nothing wrong and nothing shameful about being a traveler, someone who wants to experience new cultures and foods. Okay. That's different from the mongering that the passport bro core unit does, where it's 90% about getting sex and 10% about, well, there's a nice tree over here. You have to make up your mind yourself. You cannot just keep telling yourself or keep pretending that they're not who we said they were.
Know that they're desperate and they need support and protection, and offer them that with the hook of I am now your pimp. So when you have people,
Hello, Kim. How you doing? Mic check 1 2 on Kim.
I'm doing good, in yourself?
Sounds good. You sound all good. We good.
Yes. And I also posted a link in the chat for you to take a look at when you get a minute.
Will do.
Thank you.
So how's your day so far?
It is going good. It's 11:53 here on the East Coast. So
Yeah, feeling late. I'm not gonna be on long because yesterday was a very long one.
well, at least we were off, today, but I'm going to be on for a little while.
Cool. Truth is in the house. Looks Southern Bella's in the house. Marquise in the house. Juju's in the house. Kala Lily Wallace is in the house. May was here, but I think May had to Strum. I think Strum came through too. But anyway, I'm just trying to break down this, trying to define this pimp culture and how it refers to the passport bros, and also the red pill manosphere. And I truly believe that's the ultimate goal of both, is to open up a paywall to give men the idea that they can exploit women and get what they want from them for free. And that's done. The paywall, instead of a pimp setting up a connection, what happens is that they give this manosphere, and this manosphere gives you the illusion that after speaking to the manosphere, you're going to be able to exploit women. That's my theory. Is I believe they speak to the manosphere, so men speak to the manosphere as if a trick would speak to a pimp, because they do not want to do, instead of doing the work to attract the type of women they want and to do to the women what they want, they are on the manosphere looking to get answers on how to manipulate women. And that's that. I mean, that's basically what's going down. And I'm totally convinced of that, because they try to say, the manospheres tried to say, oh, we're trying to coach up men and coach up men. But if you would look at the manospheres, with the exception of just a handful of men, if you looked at their content, it's all shame, blame, and explain. What are your thoughts?
Well, we all know it's easier for them to shift the blame than it is to work on themselves. I find it very disheartening that, you know, a degree of our men would rather be a part of this pimp slash prostitute type culture than to be men.
Right.
I mean, their idea of being a man is so other than what it should be. It's disgusting. It's inappropriate. And I would like to think that our men would know better, but to a degree, a lot of them don't.
No, they
Um,
don't. It's sad.
it is sad. And the thing is that so many of them are parents themselves and parents of daughters.
That's the scary part. And I remember that I was going to release a video that stated that, hey, red pill fellas, are you throwing your daughters under the bus? Because
Yes,
they have to be.
you're right, DJ George. They are. They are definitely throwing their daughters under the bus, because how can you travel to these countries, do the things that you're doing, and you have daughters at home? Or better yet, you may not have any children now, but you will in the future. But I guess what's in the past versus what's in the future is two totally different things. I don't think so. I don't think so. Because I do believe to a degree our past does plays a role in our future. And the thing is that they know better. So they can't use that excuse, well, I was young and dumb. No, no. You
Right.
know, taking a homeless woman, regardless of whether she needed money or not, when you just could have gave her money to feed, so she could feed herself, but to make her have to earn it by having sex with you is humiliating. It's evil. It is
Right.
absolutely evil. And for you to all of a sudden say, oh, 5 years from now, oh, I'm a dad, I got to change my ways. You knew 5 years prior, when you took advantage of that homeless woman, that you were wrong.
Exactly. I mean, that was some, hate to be vulgar, but the only way to put it, that was some Skid Row shit.
Yes, it was.
I mean, it tells me that this man, he's beyond repair.
Oh, yeah.
Because I mean, think about it. He literally paid what people give a barista at Starbucks a tip, $4.
And you're right. I forgot about that part. And then he didn't even, I mean, you might as well say he didn't pay her at all. $4.
Right. That's nothing. He literally, technically, in my opinion, he in a very convoluted way raped her. I
Yeah, he
shouldn't
did.
say that. I mean, graped her.
Right.
But it is because he knew there was something wrong with her. Just, you know, she knew, whether it was a mental illness or drugs, it doesn't matter. He knew she was under some type of influence that she was not able to make the right decision. You see what I'm saying?
Right. But I have a question. How can a man, I mean, was he just fueled by the need to exploit and have sex? Was that enough for him to get, I guess, an erection? Because I can't picture a man just being turned on by a homeless woman, or a
I,
homeless woman being turned on by a man. But then again, for her, it wasn't an issue of being turned on, it was an issue of trying to get some money.
I think it came down to that's just how, when they say somebody is like a sociopath or unaliver or a serial grape person.
Uh huh.
That's who he is. I guarantee you not, he has a history of doing this. That wasn't the first time.
I don't think so either. And I think you're right.
That's not the first time, because the simple thing, he almost tried to make it sound like she was attacking him. She wouldn't leave me alone. She wouldn't leave me alone. Well, why don't you see she's hungry. Why don't you feed her and then just let her go about her business? Or if you just have to be so mean about it, fine. Just don't leave the bar. If you have to, just leave Starbucks. It's not like you had to pay to get in. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
No, he used that as an excuse for
And
his
and you notice how
nefarious behavior.
and you notice how he went out of his way to mention what color she was.
Right.
So I'm thinking, had she been white and in the same situation, he probably would have did the same, but he probably would have went about it different. But we have nothing to compare it to. He went out of his way to say that she was Afro Brazilian, she
Latina,
was
right.
black. Exactly. So I'm wondering, was that his way of taking his aggression and his dislike out on black women in general?
Yes.
I thought so.
I mean, don't get me wrong. This dude is pretty evil. He'd abuse anybody he could get a chance to abuse. But I think what really turned him on was the fact is that he was able to abuse somebody and not get punished for it.
Yeah.
That turns a lot of people with criminalistic minds on. That's part of the reason why they get caught, and it's part of the reason why they do what they do, is because that's a rush to see if they can get away with whatever crime they're doing. And that's why that's why when I see something like that, it's like, that's why I'm going to go on this tour as it pertains to the passport movement, is defining to these men, what do you really want to do? Do you want to be a part of what they do there? Because remember, crazy dude from yesterday who was yelling all the time,
Yeah.
who said, I asked him, I said, after we played the video about big boss, and I said, are you down for this? And he said, hell no. But I said, so you're not a passport bro? He said, oh, hell yeah, I am. And I tried to explain to him, okay, dude, look, this is like being a part of the Crips or Bloods. If you're down with them, you're down to the dirt. You're down to what the dirtiest things they might be. You see what I'm saying? So if you want to represent that, that's fine. I said, you sound like a traveler to me. And he wouldn't bite on that. He said, oh no, I want to be, because, and you saw his reasoning too. So I have no, what would you call it? No love. Let's say no love for him either, because basically money was more important than him than humanity. He'd rather relate to a criminalistic behavior than to say, I see what you mean. And though I want to use passport, for marketing, I'm not down for that. That's what Passport Bro is about. It's about exactly what the big boss, which means that he's the big boss, right? Nobody's arguing his point, right? No
Right.
passport men are saying, wait a minute, no, I'm the big boss. Nobody's saying that. So he's representing the Passport Bros. His behavior is representing the Passport Bros. And then let's bring it all the way back to the Black community. If people are supporting or want to be affiliated with pimp culture, and I think hip hop is a part of pimp culture as well. It's indirectly related. Let's put it that way.
That's a good point.
Now you see why. I mean, it starts to expand why there's a strong possibility of why the Black community is not doing as well as we should be doing. So to finalize this dumb speech I'm making, or good speech I'm making, depending who's listening to it, is that I feel men or women, if you want to be seen as a respectable person, then you need to be focusing on respectable people you might find boring. Okay.
I agree. But when I think back yesterday of his anger, with that degree of anger, and we were just having a conversation with him, can you imagine being in his presence and that was going on? I think that any woman that's in that man's presence has the potential to be in danger,
I agree.
either from him physically attacking her and fighting her, or allegedly, who knows what else. Let's put it that way. I would not put it past him because, first of all, you can't reason with him in general. Okay, whether and you can just be talking to him like you and I are talking. He's not. You can't reason with him. And then when he gets angry, there's it's still the same thing. You still can't reason with him. So if a woman is in his presence and she can't reason with this man, and he's angry, there's so many things he could do to her. He is a threat to women in general. And the fact that he wouldn't answer certain questions right then and there makes him suspect.
True. Yeah, this is a motley crew here. I mean, everybody wants to say, "Wow, these guys are going around the world and they want to protect," like Chantel Simone was protecting these dudes. But we see the real, community. And again, this is not just the passport bros in themselves, it's the mentality, which is a huge issue.
Yeah, that mentality. And the sad thing is that mentality has spread like wildfire.
Yeah.
I mean, black men that fall for this, they picked up on that nonsense quick, fast, and in a hurry. I mean, Kevin Samuels was around for about what, 5 years?
Yeah.
And look how quickly he picked up a following. Now Austin Holloman is doing the same thing. And Austin fails to realize, and Kevin didn't either, and they don't care, that we have our own personal legacy. And when you make yourself public, what you instill upon the public is part of your legacy. Kevin passed away, and look how shitty Kevin's legacy is. It's destructive, it's evil, it's full of lies, it is divisive. And Austin, you know, is going to always be remembered for what he did. Just like the guy that assaulted that homeless woman. That's personally part of his legacy. That's what he's going to leave behind.
Right.
And the first thing they'll say was, well, white men have been doing it for years, but if white men jump off a bridge, are you guys going to jump off a bridge behind them? Just because they've been doing whatever they've been doing for years doesn't go to say it makes it right. But again, they move different. They're not on social media. They don't feel the desire to make money off of their deviant behavior in terms of, now granted, in war and whatnot, that's a different story in the past history of slavery, yes. But in terms of individual men that are just going overseas and doing all this stuff, it doesn't even make the US news. I have to go online and research these videos that shows how they in like Thailand and Philippines, how they set up these pedophile stings and they ended up arresting these people. That's how I'm able to find this information out. It is not making the regular news. But as soon as one of these black guys turn around and get caught, it's going to make the news.
Right.
They move differently, and even though their own are deviant, they will protect them. Look at Jeffrey Epstein. Look how long he was protected, and he was abusing young girls, underage women,
For a long time.
for a long time. And not only that, his list is full of people, public people,
Right.
people that run corporations, uh, former presidents, entertainers. Um, I read that was it Kevin Hart had been out to his island. It was one of them had been out to his island. I mean, just horrible. But they still protected him. Granted, I don't believe that either. I believe he either committed suicide to keep from telling, or somebody actually assisted him with committing suicide. It was one or the
Yeah.
other. But the thing is that he was willing. He knew he was far gone. He knew there was no turning back. And he's known that for years, that he would rather go ahead and take his own life than risk living and potentially telling on these people, because at that point he knew his days were numbered. So I guess he figured, I guess I'll just go ahead and take myself out or have myself taken out. I don't know. But the thing is that these black guys, they're not going to commit suicide in jail, because they would turn around and they would talk on each other. They would be that, was that yellow canary?
Yeah.
So the point is that they move different. These guys feel the need to have to make money because, number one, a lot of them don't have any money from jump. So they turn around and they create these channels and they go overseas and they exploit these women and they make money. That's the way of making money, to be able to travel and exploit these women. Whereas it seems like these white dudes that are over there being pedophiles and exploiting these young girls, they apparently have their own personal source of income. And it's not YouTube, and it's not YouTube channels either.
Yep, that's the truth. Let's play a little bit more of this film here. Let's see what's going on.
A lot of people who are victim of abuse in the home, or abandonment or neglect in the home. That's the first that's the first brokenness of the situation, which is one of the reasons why capitalism and anti-capitalism, if you're really serious about protecting the children, you need to be serious about economic inequality and poverty, because that's where children become unprotected. So they find those people and then they break them again. And breaking them again is what allows you to get your name tattooed on it, and allows you to say, you will do this work, you will sleep with this person, you will show your body against your will, or consensually, but you will give them the capital that you gain from that labor, you will give it all to me, and I will protect you. Iceberg Slim, the hood, I talked about it in the Black Manager video. Iceberg Slim, cold-hearted pimp. So I'm not bringing up his book to condone his behavior, but if you want to, this is one of those real useful anti-capitalist texts that are not in the oeuvre, that are not in the canon of leftist readings, because the way he breaks down exploitation and alienation, it's cold-blooded. It's cold-blooded. Anyway, there's no defense. There's nothing in my mind that can say Andrew Tate is not a rapist and abuser. And it's been like that from jump, because people knew about this. He said this to his fans. That is how he recruited people. That is how he recruited people to his stuff. He's basically telling them how you can be a pimp, how the lover boy method. That's on his website. It's signed in the video, but it was everywhere. And it goes to show, going back to a point that I think was frustratingly glossed over in the response from Kidology, is that Andrew Tate did not get big. He did not get popular on social media by being a self-help guy. Young men did not connect to
DJ.
Andrew Tate because of his self-help message.
Welcome in.
Thank you.
They connected to him because of how he presented this patriarchal, chauvinistic, misogynistic image. And if Andrew Tate was purely self-help, we would never have known who he was at this scale. And so, whenever we get into these discourses about, the left helping men more, we are going to be at a disadvantage if we don't use patriarchy like them, which we are not, which we should not. And it's the same with Peterson, same with Kevin Samuels. This point still stands. Y'all saw the videos. Let me just pull it up real quick. Go watch I'll splice it here. You go watch the Black Manager video. You see what Kevin Samuels looked like before he started getting really misogynistic, which is what gained him an audience. He looked ridiculous. He was awful as a content creator, presence, whatever. And so, when people don't take that into account, it frustrates me. This is not saying that there are not things that can change and be better about engaging with young men, but just this nonsense of looking at the Andrew Tates or the Jordan Petersons or the Kevin Samuels and the other people lower on the list, and saying that they appeal to boys because they reaffirm boys and they reaffirm manhood is like, no. Again, I bring up Kevin Wilson. Kevin Wilson, for all intents and purposes, everything I understand about Kevin Wilson is that he is a conservative man. I don't know if he's a Republican. I don't know his stances on LGBTQ issues, but I know that he is very invested in traditional classical images of masculinity. He is very invested in that. He is a big black man with a beard. He does karate. He calls men warriors. He does all the things, but he doesn't talk down about women. He doesn't blame women. He doesn't antagonize black women. And in the chat, who's that? Who's Kevin Wilson? Y'all don't know. And that's frustrating. Not because he should be a big figure on the left, right? Like, I'm not trying to pull Kevin Wilson into our ecosystem because I don't know his politics, and I'm not trying to like water down what he's doing by forcing a different political engagement into it. Oh shit, Jason Wilson. Damn, that's why y'all saying who's that? Oh fuck. This is Jason Wilson. And this really proves my point. Jason Wilson is what any like you don't want to get down with all the leftist stuff. You don't want to talk to me about, capital and anti-capitalism and gender abolition and whatever. We don't want to get into all that. I'm not going to force everybody to get into all that, right? But if you're really out here as a young man, black or white, but definitely black, looking for black images of black men to inspire you and make you think better of yourself and guide you out of certain behaviors, certain weaknesses, all this good stuff, I introduce you to Kevin Wilson. I introduce you to Jason Wilson. Now, some of you don't know who this is. And you don't know who this is because Jason Wilson is not optimized for the algorithm. He is not algorithmically optimized because he is a black man who is civil, who is gentle, who is soft-spoken, and who is not misogynistic. He's not. He has all the markers: traditional family, believes in traditional masculinity, married with kids, all that stuff. Does karate, whoop anybody ass in the streets. Everything you need except the misogyny. Everything you need except the misogyny. But he is not ever going to get the type of presence that Kevin Samuels got, because the reality that people don't want to engage with is that what makes this medium work and grow you is the algorithm's optimization of misogyny and hatred of women, and especially black women.
Simply put, toxicity sells.
That is the reality. And I defy you, anybody that's going to follow up, go look at this stuff. It's not leftist stuff. It's not soft boy woo stuff. It's none of that. It's some classically, it's strong uncle energy over there. But he's not going to be famous. He's not going to trend on TikTok. He's not going to overtake the alpha male podcast circuit because he does not, the algorithm has no use for black men not talking crazy. They don't.
Thoughts, anyone?
He has 118 videos. I just looked at his website, and I'm going to follow him to see what he has to say. And he has videos of, I think it's him and his son, and I think with his son, and I think there's two women. So one of them is probably at least his daughter, if not both. Maybe one's his wife. So he might have something very positive, according to this guy. He does, and I want to check it out for myself. But again, he talked about how there's one video I saw with Will Smith smacking Chris Rock, and and the caption. So he's looking to promote healthy relationships within our people, whereas these Passport Brothers and Kevin Samuels, as we know, did not. They're trying to say that Kevin Samuels loved black people and had so many things planned for the black community and blah, 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 blah. I don't see that. And taking myself out of the fact that I hate Kevin Samuels' ways and his ideology, I still don't see it. I don't see where to say that women 35 and older who are single will die alone is not someone who gives a damn about their community, because black women are a part of our community. We give birth to our children, to your children. We give birth to your children. And for him to say such a disparaging thing tells me that he is divisive. He was not for our people.
True. Very true. 3D, welcome to the chat. Are you there? Oh, you had to jump out. Okay.
Did you read the chat? Did you read 3D's chat? He says, you have the wrong idea, bro. I sub to that Jason Guy channel. Why I get blocked? Well, maybe you came in with the wrong energy. I don't know.
Hello.
Hey, why I get blocked? I just said I like I just said I listen to Mike Tyson podcast. I don't see what's wrong with Mike Tyson. And I did subscribe to that Jason guy's channel. I just subscribed to him right now. I don't see what I said to get blocked in the chat.
Are you saying you're blocked in my channel?
Yeah, I guess
okay.
one of your moderators. I said I left a comment saying I listen to Mike Tyson's podcast, and he's talking about the different podcasts. And if anybody listened to Mike Tyson's podcast, he's had like a spiritual awakening, and he drops a lot of gems on there. So I don't see how Mike Tyson would be considered like anything bad, but you know.
No. First of all, mentioning somebody else's podcast, unless it's like some serial, grape person, it's that. I mean, everybody. I don't want everybody coming on here, with the exact same ideology. No. Do you remember the person who blocked you?
Nah, I just said I've been placed in timeout.
Okay. Now I do remember a gentleman by the name who's a gentleman by the name of who's it? Chester, and he went on a block party without my authorization or knowledge, and he was blocking a lot of people. He was blocking other moderators.
Yeah, I noticed. I guess maybe you guys probably have, as your channel's grown, you probably have some guys in your memberships or moderators who are maybe don't have your best intentions for the channel audience, because I just experienced that on another platform I just left. So that might be something to look into as well.
And we had Jonathan B who was attacking us on the Peso Man.
No, yeah, you were on Peso Man's channel, and you were quite the contributor. You everything you were saying, you were holding it down. So I duly apologize. I will apologize for that, and we'll look into it.
Okay, yeah, no problem, man. I just wanted to just make sure there was no confusion or like beef or anything like that. It's my first time over here, so I'm just showing support, and I'm gonna like, comment, and subscribe, and all that good stuff to support the algorithm.
Much appreciated, and I'll go to your channel and definitely do the same. I take responsibility for, even though there was probably a reason for it, I still take responsibility for it, and we'll look into it.
Okay. 3D, you there?
So what do you guys think about the video?
Patsy did it. She said that wasn't the reason. I don't know what her reason was, but
he was acting up in other places.
That's.
Let's see what Kevin Samuels made money. Yeah, he did.
Wow.
Yeah. Let's keep it rolling.
Say he's not gonna get it because I'm out here telling white people his name is Kevin Wilson. Look, I'm sorry. That's even further proof that I'm a fan of the dude, and I don't even know his name because he doesn't make me angry. He makes me feel good. You know what I'm saying? He inspires me, so I ain't even registered his name properly. And so, so bringing it back to Andrew Tate, and just kind of this overall discourse around I got all over the place. Just bring it back to Andrew Tate. Don't lie to me. Don't piss on my leg and call it rain and say that Andrew Tate loved young boys and men and inspired them with like positive role model mentorship energy. No, he was a pimp spreading the energy of pimps to young boys, and that attracted them because we live in a patriarchal society and we are groomed into that type of environment and energy from jump. And it takes a gargantuan amount of support, luck, and a whole lot of energy to dissuade young men out of that, which is why all this stuff about the left isn't doing enough. Y'all don't understand how much we're already doing. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. Moving on. The most dangerous part is Tate's audience believes he's being framed because he's a threat to establishment and their feminization of men. Again, I point to the fact that Jason Wilson will not give you feminization of men vibes. He just presents a good image. And like that's what draws them in. And what's more feminine? Y'all gonna get me to be toxic about niggas I don't like on the stream. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. I'm gonna just say Andrew Tate wasn't only pimping the victims in his brothel in Romania. Those were not his only victims of being pimped. I'll just say that. All right.
All right. So any questions, any answers, any thoughts? I'm gonna put down a just in case anybody wants us to come up. Let's see. Henri has something to say. What's funny about those Republican white men who objectify black women actually had children with black women? Example, yeah, it's crazy that stuff like that happens.
Patsy was right. That's why he felt like stepfathers were simps, because his stepfather wouldn't allow him to run back home after his second divorce.
True. Right. All right, let's go on to the next. Here we go. Of course it's muted.
The face of this toxic masculinity these days, which is none other than our friend Andrew Tate.
We're gonna blame the men for your poor decision? You picked to do it.
That's great that you feel that way, but it's still sex trafficking. Your personal feelings don't matter.
They weren't complaining about the money.
But he was actively stealing from them.
Yeah, he admits
It's not
that.
actively-
He does admit
He
that.
literally said,
Yeah.
when you're filling out these dumb women's tax forms, you can lie to them about the tax forms. Let's take 40% off the top. He
That is
literally
where
said that.
I think you were right.
I'm not asking about what the punishment should be for the women. They probably been punished enough. I imagine if they worked and had money stolen from them. What we're talking about was what Andrew Tate did, which is sex trafficking, right? There are probably women that make bad decisions.
Allegedly.
But I'm saying, why is
That's what
it-
he's charged with. That's
Why
what he's
is
charged with.
Allegedly.
it? Why
Let's
is
just
it?
be
Why
clear
is it
about
wrong
that.
if they
It's not
freely chose to do
proven.
it?
Why is it wrong if I get somebody in a relationship with me and then I'm able to flip that into them working as a prostitute for me?
For some reason, I'm like obsessed with this straw man argument thing because you've used it a few times.
This is literally
Hear
what
me
he talks
out,
about,
bro. So there's this term like toxic masculinity these days, which I think is just an
A
absurd
great
term.
term.
I
Describes
think
a
it's
lot
a
of
great
toxic
term.
masculine traits.
So I don't think.
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
there's
God.
just toxic people. I think there's toxic women that you should stay the hell away from. I think there's toxic men who are idiots and cavemen. You should stay away from them. I think it's an unfair label.
There are traits that are unique to men that get toxically exemplified, no?
Such as
Like the ability to never show any emotion ever and to be a stoic person that keeps it all inside and like never.
there's a lot of benefits to being a stoic, though.
Not a
But I
healthy
would say-
stoic that processes and doesn't repress everything.
Yes,
But like, you should be able to have I think that not being able to have a conversation relating to your emotions, I think, is a huge sign of insecurity and weakness.
Yeah, but there's a difference between having emotions and being a human and being an emotional man. There's a
yeah, but
big
this is
difference.
like, you guys don't. Why do you bring this up? Like, you will. Okay, every time. Okay, you might not believe this. I'll give you a little bit of credit. Okay, and I don't think Alex. I don't know about you. People will do this shit, but it's like, oh no, when we say like don't be overly emotional, what we mean is like don't cry all the time and blah 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 blah. If that's all you were saying, I'd be cool with that. But a lot of these people here are like, if you ever show any vulnerability to your woman ever, she'll leave you.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not, but it's not like
It's true. What?
Like Fresh and Fit says that all the time.
Yeah, and that Hamas guy
That's-
who wears the
Hamza.
robes
Is
all
that
the
really
time,
true?
whatever the fuck, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who it says what, but the message that I've generally understood is that it's kind of like you just don't know. Every woman's different, and how much emotion that she's willing to like put, like I want to say put up with, differs on the women. So a lot of guys just say it's easier just to not.
I think Destiny actually makes a very valid point here, to be honest with you. There's a fine line. So I like always using a 1 through 10 scale, right?
Yeah.
10 is being like showing no emotion whatsoever. I will never be vulnerable with my girl. And 1 is being a crying f***ing baby. I don't think you should be either. I think you should find a f***ing balance. I think appropriate balance is probably being an 8. Being a man, but also having some emotion. Do you understand? Do you see what I'm saying here?
I mean, I understand what you're saying, but like the number is meaningless. That's going to mean different things to different people. Like an 8 for some person might be like, the only time I'm going to cry is if both my parents die within 12 hours of each other, right?
No.
Or some people might mean like an 8 is like, I had a bad day at work and I'm going to bed a little bit. Like it just
I
depends.
actually think a
know-
1 through 10 is very fair.
All I know is the men that I respect the most in my life I've barely ever seen cry. So, but
She's the thing about her is she's a train wreck anyway. So and she's pretty young. I mean, 24, 25. So,
What
and
is-
it's nothing against young people, but she really hasn't been through enough to really.
She looks psycho.
Yeah, she does look psycho. But I guess my point is that she really hasn't lived enough life for us to for anyone, especially someone older than her, to respect what she's saying, because she's saying such bland shit most of the time.
Yeah.
Most of the time it's like, I like to have, ketchup on my hamburger. Ooh, wow.
And DJ, if I might ask, like, what is wrong with men being emotional to the woman they love? Like I was to my ex, and we, and she did not like leave me on the spot. Of course it's,
Okay.
we both share our problems.
This is the thing about emotion. It depends on how much and how often. But the point of having a significant other is so that you can share things with them and emotions with them that you can't with the rest of the world, including maybe even your own family.
Yeah.
The only problem is if you do it too soon. You see what I'm saying? If you do it like within the first year, if you get too deep with them in the first year, it might be a problem. Really, it could be up to 6 months. It really depends on how they respond to you and what type of person they are. That's the experience I have. Hey, back in the day, I can remember sometimes I got a little bit too deep too soon. And sometimes it's not only being emotional, you can just be too deep, like where they have to pull emotions out that they don't want to keep them out because they're either not comfortable or they had some type of life experience that they're not really ready for that type of depth of a relationship or an emotional communication. So the thing is that to me, a girlfriend, or for obviously women, a boyfriend in the beginning stages of a relationship, they're really not supposed to be your therapist. You see my point? So
yeah.
So I might say something like, man, my family is getting on my nerves. And that's about it. You see what I'm saying? For a while. You see what I'm saying? I'm not going to be, oh yeah, and this happened and that happened, and breaking it down, because it shows you don't know who's in front of you. It might show them weakness at first. Later on, they might be good with it after a year or so. You see what I'm saying? After they've been able to catch feelings for you as well, or catch
Yeah.
more feelings for you that you didn't know that they weren't feeling before. Because you got to remember, you might be in front of somebody who's kind of like just kind of, acting affectionate just so they don't get fired. It sounds weird, but that's what
Yeah.
happens.
Get
know what
That
I mean?
makes
fired.
sense.
So, no, but you really, yeah, you shouldn't be stoic. No,
No, of course not.
no, stoic is a sociopathic behavior if you do it all the time. It's 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 the same thing Dahmer was doing. It's the same thing. Dahmer was not a ladies' man. He would walk in, he was awkward, you know, and he did what he did. See what I'm saying? So no, you don't want to go that route.
Oh, of
You
course
want to
not.
have
That's extreme.
emotion. You want to have emotion, and you
Yeah.
be yourself, but just don't be too much of yourself
Uh huh.
too soon.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
You
But
see,
I mean, I can still cry. Let's say, oh, this song is, touches me, or I mean, that's
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Okay,
you
okay.
could do that, but I mean, I wouldn't do it like I wouldn't
First
do
date.
something like that until after like either they're feeling it too, or
Yeah.
after several dates,
Oh,
because
okay.
you have to remember, just like men are getting hammered by the toxic masculinity
Hmm.
propaganda, so are women. So they
Yeah.
might think, "Oh, wow, you're kind of weak." Now, you shouldn't have to do that to keep anybody. You shouldn't have to
Hmm.
hold your feelings in to keep anybody.
Oh no, not at
But
all.
at the same time, do not try to express too much emotion at first.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to this person she's not
Person.
she's brainless, but she's not brainless in a way that she's not going to not make money. She's smart enough to. I mean, well, I can't really say that because really, it's probably her daddy's money who got her started. You know,
Yeah. Most definitely.
so and that's nothing wrong with. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you're going to do that if since obviously she threw her father under the bus and said he wasn't around that much, but we're cool now. You see what I'm saying? That's
Hmm.
right there. Just her saying that tells me the type of person she is. And the story about her coach, that tells me the kind of this is a woman right here that will throw you under the bus as fast as she possibly can if she thinks it will benefit her.
Hmm. Absolutely.
So, and the fact that she we know about what went down with her father tells us everything we need to know this early in her career.
I think that a healthier engagement with the question is, I'm going to go back to the thing we said before. I think the confidence is the thing that underpins all of it, right? If I'm upset and you see me upset, and I'm not playing League of Legends, it's because some serious shit happened, right? It's supposed to be like the archetype of like dad is crying. That means something really bad happened. There's some crazy shit happened, right?
I agree.
So like, yeah, like I think it's okay to get emotional over things, but as long as it's something like serious happened. And I think it's better to be able to show that and share that with your partner than to like keep it all bottled up. But like if you come home and you're like crying because you had like a bad interaction with a customer, yeah, of course. But again, the problem there isn't whether you're emotional or too emotional. It's like it's a lack of like confidence that is like showing like an emotional instability, I think, which is the problem.
I think it's ultimately because we talked about the people that are saying they should never cry, should never do anything like that. I think it's just a backlash to basically what's been happening in society, this feminization of men, and men aren't being real men anymore. There is stats out there that show like how men were more manly World War II serving your country.
It's funny. This guy's talking about feminization of men, and he's got no low socks on, and
Looks like a homo.
let's don't go that far, but he's
Okay.
definitely saying, he's an example for what he's talking about, I guess. But
And those pants are probably those tight pants.
Yeah.
yeah, and the thing is this
Booty
is that I
hugging
understand
tight
what he's
pants.
saying, but see, this is going to keep happening too, and I'll tell you why. Because men are going to continue to make gadgets that make life easier
Hmm.
for men.
Oh yes, absolutely.
So there will be less manly things to do that you would do manly, and therefore, this is where we are. You know
He'll
what I
be.
mean? This is where we are.
You know what? He'll be the
Um,
same guy, DJ. If I might add, he'll be the same guy if somebody break into his house or some guy is trying to do bad things to his children. He'd be the guy that run away and and go hide behind a
It seems like he would be.
police officer.
He would be, or he would try to reason with the you know. Now, and let me get this right. I'm not trying to diss dude. I mean, I'm just saying it's funny that he's mentioning that, and the way his leg is, and you see what I'm saying? That's not manly right there to me. But you want to know something? That's it might be me. It just might be me. Maybe it's okay for him to do that. Probably his producer told him to do that because it shows some sort of weird high intellect having stance. You know what I mean?
Oh, well, I don't see that. If that's the case, I don't see it.
But you see my point.
Yes, I do.
So, I'll keep rolling.
Country versus men out there. It's like there's guys that, grandpa died or like almost gave his life up in World War II, and you're crying over a video game because you got shot and killed. But
okay, that's extreme.
There is
that I agree with. 100%.
This like coddling of young men
but
today.
At the same time, if you rage quit, that's the same emotion, if not worse, believe it or not.
Right.
Because you can cry, and as long as you're not sobbing, you're in more control of your emotions than if you're having a rage. You see what I'm saying? If you're having a rage session. So to me, they're almost even. Just because a guy goes, I'm more worried about him. If I need it, let's put it this way. Let's talk about combat for a minute.
Oh, DJ, your mic is.
I'm in combat, and there's one guy who's crying, but he's aiming calmly and straight. And there's another guy beside me who's raging out and basically missing everything he shoots at. Guess who I want in battle?
The guy that never.
The guy who might be crying, but he's aiming straight because his mind is clear. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not always black and white.
That's true.
Where it's like the term "man up." They used to be like, "Yo, man up." Now that's like you get in trouble.
Yeah, but
we're telling someone to man up.
I just think
he's going too far. I've never heard anybody man up. It depends what you're referring to when you say man up.
Exactly.
But no, I tell somebody that in a minute.
Like we're looking for someone that stays strong when shit hits the fan.
Exactly.
And it's not to say that you can never ever show any ounce of emotion, but I just think in general,
she's Captain Obvious, and she's getting paid for it.
It's better to err on the side of caution.
I have a feeling she cries a lot when the cameras are off.
Yeah, she even uses anecdotal sayings, talking points.
She probably goes through a lot of batteries too.
Good one.
And I don't mean
we
her
have to
toothbrush
recognize
either.
that where we were before
I know what
was
you're talking
unacceptable.
about.
Where we were 20 years ago was not acceptable. Where men are killing themselves at 3, 4, 5 times the rate of women. Where men are too scared to seek help for like psychiatric problems. Where men leave the military and they go.
The suicide rate gone down since? I don't actually know. Has it gone down since like 100 years ago?
No,
I think it's still higher for men. But I'm just
saying, I meant like, so if like, let's say 1 out of every 100 men committed suicide 100 years ago, is it 2 today? Is it 0.5 today? I just don't know.
100 years ago.
There's more men committing suicide
Why
today.
are men struggling and committing suicide more than ever now? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm asking the question.
No,
I don't actually
but he said,
know.
are those the stats?
Patsy, she's around 25 or 26 or something.
I believe it. I looked at this at what debate I did. I think it was like in the 70s. It was like we hit a crescendo with like the most amount of male suicides, and then it's gone down a little bit, but now it's rising again.
So is that? By the way, is there? We don't have the answers here, but is it younger men?
No, I think it's normally it's people always think it's teens that are killing themselves, but I don't think that's the case.
Guess
The biggest
45.
the bracket is around 45.
Yeah.
I think it's when people are leaving, you get kind of lonely, you get disconnected from the world, and then you're kind of like.
So I have 3 things that are coming to mind here.
Wait, before your 3 things, I just want to say before that like if we're gonna do like male advice or male empowerment, like I don't even use the term because I know it triggers the of everybody, but like we have to be able to talk about some concepts related to toxic masculinity that keep men down, and one of those is the inability to process emotions. I'm not saying you've got to go around and be like, and I admit,
can I have an example of what that means?
as in like when you like, here's an example, okay? Men cannot have conversations about their emotions ever, okay? If a girl goes out with a guy and she comes back and she's talking to her friends, right? Oh my God, I met this guy. He was super cool. He's a blah, blah, blah. Like, guy will go out, meet the woman of his dreams, go home to his friends, and everybody's like, oh, how was it? And the guy's like, cool. And that's all he says ever, right? This is why, like,
is there something wrong with that?
Yes.
Oh, why?
It's so toxic because men friendships suck. We get so little out of friendships. And I think it's one of the reasons why men are so desperate for relationships with women. And I think it also ties into, I think it ties into so many other things. It's one of the reasons why I hear women will complain that when they go on first dates with guys, they feel like they're their therapist or their moms. And I think oftentimes because guys have nobody that they talk to in their lives about anything. I think it's why when breakups.
What guys are they dating?
No,
This is so common. This is so common.
Really
Or it's another big reason is why, like, whenever you see like breakups happen, I've heard a lot of red pill guys says women always get so much credit when there's a breakup, and guys always get shit on, like they're always blamed. But there's like cheating going on. Women get so much more leeway than men. It's because when women have problems in their relationships, they're telling all their girlfriends about it. Like, oh, my boyfriend does this, my husband does this, and all like it. So when something happens, yeah, they're way more ready to like side with their girlfriend. For guys, you know, again, like the woman might, you know, be like cutting his tires every day before he goes to work, and you know, guys are like, oh, how's everything going at home? You're like, it's okay. And that's like all they say. Like our relationships are really, really, really bad. The way we communicate with each other, it's really, really, really bad.
I'll use our friend Dave Chappelle as an example here of a story that he told, and I'll give you my feedback. He says that like basically men are just like black and white, more rational. Women are so emotional. Where it's like he did this a whole big stand up. It's like she's like, so what happened? I met Dave, went to the park, punched a guy in the face. That's it. I'm out. That's the man's story. Where the woman's story was like, well, you have to understand that I was on my period that day. And she said something really wrong to me. And then what happened is I was feeling.
I don't know if I agree with that because I think they're trying. Rage is an emotion. Punching a guy
absolutely.
is an emotion. So
it's a result,
right?
Of emotion. See, I know, DJ.
You got this. But
yes.
Yeah. So to me, it's really the same. It's really a similar response. It's just dealt with differently. So,
yeah,
absolutely. A good way. And then what happened was that then Sheila walked in, and it's like, Jesus, it's so fucking. I just want to know what happened. Yeah. So there's two conflicting ideologies and like how men and women operate. Men are from Mars, women are from.
Henri, I think that's how you say that name, or Henry. His name, he goes by the name of, what was it that he goes by? Destiny. And he knows it sounds feminine, but he said he called himself, there's something about some story when he was a kid. So he kept it, probably, you know, in honor of his parents or something like that.
Venus, and that's just how men operate. So women, they're always going to be more emotional. It's not about the actual facts of the story. It's going to be how they felt and how you made them feel and whatever. Like, anyway, but as far as men go, I don't know. I can only say what I know. I have homies that I've been friends with forever.
He has no ring.
I can say everything I want to them up to an extent. Because as a man, you know, you can give your boys maybe 80 or 90% of the story, and there's maybe like 10% of it you'll leave out because you don't want to go, like you don't want to reveal too much to the dude. So I actually agree with what you're saying to an extent, meaning if I had an issue and I was some girl I was seeing, I'd be like, yeah, so we went on this date, it's not whatever. And I would be like, we would have the surface level conversation just to get it off your chest. But maybe there's a little like, you know, below the iceberg type of thing that you won't reveal. So I don't know if I buy the notion
that matters.
Well, right. But I don't know if I buy.
So what are you guys' thoughts?
I have a feeling they don't really practice what they say on the panel. You know, they're just like, you know, doing it for the clout. I mean, look at that guy. I mean, he dressed really kind of like you know, someone that is on the down low.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that I think it's a combination of things. It's the way he's not. That's kind of, believe it or not, it sounds funny. This might sound funny to you, but it sounds like something that.
Yeah.
If he was like muscular, he might be able to play that off. That off, but he's not. And then at the same time, he's not exactly what you would call traditionally masculine. You see what I'm saying? So then that doesn't help him. You see what
No
I'm saying?
way.
And so you were stacking things, and then it was his that leg mannerism where that thing where you put his leg across the other one, like a lot of women do.
Yes.
That didn't help him either. Now, hey, for all we know, this guy's filthy. Got rolling in the dough. You know what I mean? But I mean, he's not exuding I would say he's exuding confidence, but he's not exuding masculinity. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And may not care. He might be gay. He might be gay, and good for him if he wants to be.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
So, I mean, that's my point about that. I don't know why I put this on. I thought I was putting on something else. I thought I was going to roast somebody.
Bro, it's like, ooh, Patsy said Pearly things sound like a stripper name.
Yeah, she does sound like it. True.
It does.
And I'm still baffled why black men are so attracted to her.
They just like white women,
Let's drop in on Ray's Grace. Oh shoot!
Rubber Rays.
Oh no! Here we go. Guess
So
what?
you didn't think I would call your bluff. You didn't think I
Oh,
would.
damn, Tam.
Got it. Got it.
Oh
You
my
didn't think
gosh,
I would call your
You
bluff.
could be famous.
See, this is
'Cause
the
that's
thing.
all you want
When
is a
people
little
say they're going to
attention.
expose me or do this, I say bring it, and suddenly they
My
backtrack and say,
Nigerian
"Man,
queen.
I'm not going to waste my time.
Okay, Razor.
Nah, I'm
Razor.
not going to waste
Yeah.
my
Razor.
time."
Yeah,
Razor.
go ahead.
You just
Mm,
attested
mm,
some stuff that I said that she said over there,
mm.
and you could attest to it, right?
Yes. Talk about with the Thailand stuff, right? You're saying?
Yeah, with the Thailand stuff.
Yes. Yes. She was.
She was over there
Tam.
supporting that shit,
You
man.
were supporting it, Tam. I gotta tell you, you were supporting it
I was supporting it by not.
by laughing, and
Okay.
She looks distressed.
Even if you
Thinking.
Yes, that is my point of view.
And they
That's
were
how I
saying,
felt she
"Oh,
looked.
she young, she underage." You was over
I
there
never said she was
hot
underage. What
kikiing
is
over
up with
there.
this guy?
No, but what
He
he's saying,
was,
Tam,
I'm
is that
pissed.
the
That
other
pissed
people
me
on the
off,
panel.
man.
I did
being
not say
accused
that
of some
about
bullshit like that.
her. My goodness.
But let me tell you, Tam.
Ay.
What you
Let me
think?
tell you,
What
Tam,
you
but-
think? Somebody accused somebody of being a minor? You think that's fucking cool?
No,
You think I'm not pissed off about that?
you can be pissed off, but I did not say that about you. What the
Okay,
hell?
then, well,
I don't
you a
know how-
part
I
of
don't
it.
know how old that girl
You a
is.
part of
Well,
it.
that must be roll the
You're a
tape.
part of it. You're a part of the bullshit, and you don't want to admit it. You think just because you over there, it's all cool because you ain't really saying nothing incriminating. You a lawyer, of course you ain't gonna incriminate yourself.
Mm,
But at the same time, you supporting that shit. And I'm guaranteeing your
Mm.
job ain't gonna like that shit if they saw that shit. Your colleague. Just remember, don't ruin your fucking career over some
mhm.
bullshit ass nigga on the internet.
Okay, I
That's a
appreciate
trick
your advice.
himself. That's a passport bro himself. Don't lose your motherfucking career over that bullshit.
I appreciate that advice. I'll take it. I appreciate it.
You need to, because that's some bullshit that's carrying on over there, and that shit gotta stop. I'm telling you.
I appreciate that advice. Thank you.
Okay, guys. And salute to all 173 people in the building watching Raise and Raise. Now with the icon roller tape in 10 2.0. May I respect the Raise and Raise for hosting difficult conversations? Yes. And I had a difficult conversation earlier with a supposed friend of mine. I took care of him, Mr. Quack Quack. But now this is another difficult conversation. And guys, you guys are free to come on. And if you have some grievances with each other, go ahead, Solo Traveler. I don't know if this is that Solo Traveler, but salute to you. Salute to Des Smith. And I got a super chat. Let me get to the super chat. Let me get to the bag. The bag. She didn't look uncomfortable. You are F up, imagination, rich free.
It's
Thank
your
you for
opinion that she
donation.
didn't. In my point of view, she did. I'm not gonna change my point of view just to please you, rich free.
Okay, so if she looked at uncomfortable, maybe she not used to being on camera. Don't make it try to seem like I'm holding her hostage at the place. That's the narrative you painting. You don't understand this. You dealing with people's lives.
So I'm not.
Just like
so
y'all
I'm
trying
not-
to get Austin locked up. Y'all don't understand what's going on.
I
These
don't say
people
shit
trying-
about Austin.
Listen to me. Listen. These people are trying to do an international thing. It's not just Brazil. This lady is trying to do an international thing. That means if you have a black son that goes to another country and he just happened to record a video and by them trying to campaign and do some international stuff, he could get locked up. This is an attack on black men internationally. This shit ain't just some shit in Brazil. If you read the word, what this lady is trying to do, she's trying to get other countries to join in on this shit. Y'all got to think big, man. Y'all cannot be putting brothers on Front Street like that, because it could be your son, your daughter that get caught up in some bullshit and y'all supporting it. You know what I'm saying? This shit is bigger than fucking YouTube and
Yes.
views and all that shit, super chats. Y'all got to fucking think, man.
Yes. Hold on, guys. Salute to you, Khalil. And just in case research, salute to you. And this is Peso Man and Tam. Like I said, this channel.
If you guys don't know what's going
I
on,
would at nighttime, open up the panel and guys
I'm,
come on.
I'm over
and
in
debate and
I'm trying to
enjoy
figure it
Razor
out.
Raises
And I'm
chat.
glad you guys
Please.
are
Rubber
up there.
race.
I'm open
What are
to
they
say
talking
what they
about?
can say whatever they feel.
Because some people, this is YouTube,
Trying to hold
and
down,
people make
trying to hold
comments,
down their chat.
and I gotta agree with Roller Tape Tam though, but because you are on that panel, and for that panel, the Peso Man, aka Peter Pan, to be saying
He gonna bring you down with him, trust me.
yes,
He gonna bring you right down with him.
Okay.
That you have no proof of Roller Tape being with any underage girl, and like you said, Tam, earlier, you said if you don't have no proof, you're not gonna co-sign with it. So you probably should.
Exactly. I don't think he's with any underage girl.
So do you hear to say tonight that you don't think Roller Tape was with any underage girl entirely?
No, I only said the young lady in the video looked uncomfortable to me, and I'm sorry, not Razor. I'm sorry, Roll the Tape. You may not like that I'm saying that, but she looked uncomfortable to me, and I'm sorry you disagree with me.
Okay, well, if she looked uncomfortable, she looked uncomfortable. A lot of people are uncomfortable on camera. Okay.
Okay,
so
fine,
that's what
but
it is. But you rolling with this dude that's saying I'm fucking with minors, man. I don't. You just don't get it, do you? You don't get it, do you? You
Get
standing
what?
on the panel. You supporting him. You supporting him by standing next to him and
I
saying,
tell him
"Oh
when
yeah, she looks uncomfortable. Oh yeah," and
because
they
I think
constantly
she
saying,
did.
"Yeah, she minor.
Listen, you're gonna
She
have to get over
young."
it. I'm
Why
still
would I
going to
put a
say she
fucking
looked
minor?
Make sure you guys can hear
Why
it,
would I
right?
put a minor on the video? You gotta.
I don't think you had a minor on the video.
That's so fucking stupid. I've been traveling for a while. I would
Yes,
never.
I can hear it.
Congratulations. I've been traveling all my life. I'm not impressed. I mean,
I
traveling
don't
is traveling.
videotape kids. I don't do nothing with no fucking kids. Okay.
Good for you. I'm glad you don't. I don't think you do.
Well, I can't.
You don't need to prove that to me because I don't think you do.
Well, like I said, you gonna go down with that shit. You keep going over there, doing your thing. Like I said, your fucking job. You know what I'm saying? When you get them fucking emails, you get them videos over there. You gonna pay for it.
Okay.
You gonna pay for the bullshit.
Okay.
Trust me. I'm gonna try my best. I know you in Florida. I'm gonna get all your information though.
Okay.
Keep rocking with them.
Okay.
Hey, I'm out. Razor.
Bye. Roll the tape.
All right. Roller Tape. Guys, you know what to do. Subscribe to Roller Tape channel. He came up here and he debated Tam. He gave her the smoke. So, which is all good because, like I said, guys, this is a free speech panel. Like I said, only person I blocked was Big J, aka Daffy Duck Quack, because he blocked me. So, people, I open up the panel. I let you on. So, and salute the DJ Torch. Well, he said go Tam. So you got DJ Torch in here, Tam. Part of the Peso Man Street team. Gets donating $2 donation to Razor Race for Face of Fun. But now we have Jordan, my guy, and Ulysses Travelers in the building. They have joined the chat. Salute to you guys.
Hey, so I want to say something. Peso Man posted my video like 2 weeks ago, but he took it off. The one where I'm talking about the dangers of Colombia. So I was giving people like advice, and he didn't keep it on his panel too long. I think he might have had it maybe for like only 2 hours. But my issue with like what time is like, I photo screened some of the comments that some of his trolls were saying, like on the video where he posted of me. And then one girl, I think that her name is called Kid, and she's like, I hope they start drugging them in Brazil. Look, man, I don't fucking play that. My friend this year was drugged in Medellin, and he almost lost his life. And one of the Asians guys that was drugged 2 months ago, they killed him and
Yes.
they threw his fucking body in the garbage dump like he was a piece of shit. I was like, so to me, somebody that's been going to Colombia for many years and has lived there, I was there like 6 months this year, and seeing that stuff, and to me, I think it's like out of pocket. And to me, you're a lawyer, Tam. You know better than this. What happens if you go into a store with a guy that robs something? Even if you don't have the gun and you leave with him, what is that called? Accessory to robbery. And if you kill somebody, accessory to murder. You know this. Like, I'm not telling you who to fuck with, but at the same time, like, I went to university as well, and I know many friends that went to law school, med school. And let me tell you something: none of those people that I know that went to those high prestigious universities would ever fuck with somebody like Pencil Man, or even be around somebody that thinks like Pencil Man, especially on YouTube. So it's so weird to me that you're like you're a lawyer, you're supposed to think smart. Like, why be around that kind of stuff, man? You're better than that, Tam.
I appreciate you saying that.
You don't want to respond to that? Oh, you know what? All right. So we got.
No, I appreciate you saying that. I mean, that's your point of view, so I appreciate it.
Well, you do know, Tam, that you are going to get hit with these things. Because when you go on a panel with a guy like Peso Man, it is kind of co-signing.
But I don't co-sign because I don't know how many times I could say this. When Peso Man says something that I blatantly disagree with, I tell him. But just this whole thing. Well, since you're on the panel, that means you agree. No, I don't. There are a lot of things that not just Peso, anybody on the panel, there are things they say that I absolutely don't say. And I've been vocal when I disagree, but people like to say, oh, Tam said this. And then as soon as I say, when did I say that? Oh, well, you're on the panel. So it's just like, don't put words in my mouth and don't say I said something that's attributed to someone else.
And well, Flex One is in the building. Studio Flex One. Did she say rotate? Yes, we just talked about that. They just talked about that just now. So Flex One, you just heard from both of them. They just talked about that. Let's see. And salute to you, Flex One. All right. And Ulysses Traveler. Salute to you on your channel, Ulysses Traveler. Now I know Peso Man did a roast on you. Well, was Tam on? You said Tam was up there, right? When Peso Man was roasting
No, she wasn't on there. It was like the video wasn't on there that long. I think it was maybe 2 hours. He did the video for maybe like an hour. Maybe it was there for like another hour and it got deleted.
Right.
But I went on this panel like a week ago and I didn't even stay 1 minute. I just got off because like I didn't start this channel to like get into beats or nobody. I've had like 4 people actually go to Colombia this year because of me, and one girl from DR went to Colombia. It was the first time traveling, and so I like to motivate people to travel and have a good time. And I don't like to fight with people. I'm just very pacifist. But I just think, to me, like with the people that I know that are professionals at the high level as Tam is, they will never be around somebody like Pastor Man, especially publicly open where he does dumb shit. And so to me, it's weird that she's doing something like that. I'm just like, do you have anybody in your life that grabs you and says, you know what, Tam, you're better than this? Like, why are you fucking rolling with that clown? That's what baffles me,
I appreciate that. I appreciate you saying that.
And I definitely agree with Ulysses, man. Tam.
Oh, hold on. This is Buck Travel. Salute to you, Buck Travel.
This is Buck Travel. Tam. First of all, you're smart. You're better than this. You shouldn't be around Peso Man. Peso Man, his whole channel is a troll.
Razor Rays, is this an intervention? Razor Rays, did you set me up? Is this an intervention?
No, hey, I didn't invite anybody on the panel.
I know.
Tam,
Go ahead, Buck Travel.
Tam,
open panel.
What I say is like Peso Man's whole channel is trolling. And you know what he's doing? He's putting people's lives in danger. Like when he put in that Asta Holloman thing, he's actually putting Asta Holloman's life in danger. So you don't factor in all of this. So what I'm trying to say is, Tam, is you're better than this. Leave that side, and come join us. Come join this side.
Come to the good side. Raise.
The good side. Yeah.
We're gonna welcome you with open arms. So it's like.
But see, okay, go ahead. But I'll wait till you're finished. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'll let you go ahead.
But my thing with you, Buck Travel, is see the energy you're giving me right now. See, because we've had interactions before, and you didn't give me this energy.
Yeah, of course, because now you're on this side. So it's like.
But it doesn't. Well, hold on.
You guys,
it doesn't
this is
matter
funny.
what side I'm
They're
on.
trying to bring Cam over to their side. And
So
these
if
are
we were
all.
on
I
Peso
mean, the
Man's
thing
channel
is
right now,
this
you would switch
this
back
is a
to all
softer
the other
channel
bullshit.
than maybe like some of the
Nah,
other channels.
I don't.
But there's still a lot of creeps over in this
Like,
other
I don't want to
channel.
join the Peso Man panel and all that.
But you've been on Peso's live, you've been on his channel, and the first time we ever had a conversation, it was ugly because you came at me really for no reason. And then we got into a war of words. We flung a bunch of ugly stuff at each other, and that's why when you did come on my panel, you said, "Oh, hey Tam, I see you have a YouTube page," and I did give you a hard time. I said, "Wait a minute, remember the last thing you said to me? I won't repeat it on Razor's show," and you denied it. You said I didn't say that. See, I let you on because had you said, you know what, I did, had you owned up to it, then I would have just let it go because I'm a big girl. Like people say things all the time. You can't be angry about everything all the time. But when you said you completely did.
I'm about to ask this dude about Peso Man being doxxed. Hi, Diamond. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm
They
good.
have nothing on Tam. Nothing. No evidence whatsoever.
Yeah,
Now, what do what that was?
they're just sore losers. That's all.
They are sore losers. They're sitting up there talking about, oh, you put an Osman Holloman in danger. Can't even find a clip where she said this woman was underage. I never heard Tam say that this woman was underage. She said that the woman looks young. That's different from saying underage.
Right.
So
I'm
these
about to get
dudes
in
are
here.
just sitting here and they just having a meltdown
Okay,
for no reason
Anthony
at
and
all.
Diamond, you guys can talk. I'm about to jump into this live over here for a second. I'll be right back, but you guys can talk. You guys are
Okay.
live on here.
All right. So basically, these dudes, even if they were to say that, send that video to her job, where's the evidence that she said that this woman was underage? Tam never say that. She said she was young. So whatever information they got there, because I think what it is that they want to they want to see Tam fall. They they want to see her lose her career and all that, which I doubt that's not going to happen. But these dudes, like, what are they trying to prove by bullying Tam? See, they like to bully women, but these dudes, but there's also more evidence of these dudes sex trafficking young women.
Oh, just only us. Oh,
Yeah, he said we're the only ones on the panel.
oh man.
Yeah, we're the only ones
Sorry,
again.
I just got back. I just went to the bathroom and brush my teeth, get ready for bed. But
That's good to know.
it's because, yeah, no, I think because those two are cowards.
They're
Those guys,
cowards.
they'll pick on a woman. Just like that guy Jonathan B. who was saying, "Oh, I guess because he see me as that very passive, laid back guy who wasn't really as brash as a
Mm-hmm.
peso man and whatnot." So he would just make fun of me, saying my mom's a whore. Of course, it didn't phase me at all.
Mm-hmm.
I just ignore it or just try to come back
They
with
can
something.
say that they have evidence on Tim all they want,
Mm-hmm.
but we for damn sure has lots of evidence on them because they post it
Mm-hmm.
on their YouTube a lot, so they can try it all they want.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And besides, since they're U.S. citizens, you know,
So basically, Southern Belle, that Tam was on
rubber
Peso
race.
was whoever's channel say when Austin Holloman was basically outed for touch what did he do? Well, ever since Austin Holloman was being was being tracked down by the villagers in Rio, there was this guy named Big J that actually video I try to get my words together, sis. Excuse me, sorry. He actually record this woman giving him head, disrespecting him.
Oh God.
Yeah, remember we say this plenty of time. He was disrespecting this homeless woman, and when the woman asked him for more money, he kicked her out and then said, "Take all your." And then said to her, "Take all your clothes off." And then after they finished doing what they did, he paid her like basically $4 when he's supposed to pay this woman $100.
Wow.
So basically, if anything, there's more evidence against him than there is against him.
Absolutely.
Because just because somebody is on YouTube, that doesn't mean that, I don't know. I don't think Tam is going to lose her job saying that this woman looks young. That's not the same as saying that she's underage.
I mean, so I think because she worked for, I don't know. I mean, she's a lawyer. I think it's not as easy as getting fired from a private company.
Right. Yeah. She's not a DA, so even DAs is not easy getting them out.
Yeah, just look at that guy, Chef Way. He made disparaging comments about black women, all this stuff, and he still have his job.
Yeah, they haven't got to him yet. That's why. But Tam is not going to lose her job.
Oh, no way.
She's not going to lose her job because these dudes are sitting there acting like they're on trial. And to say that, oh, we're going to report it to your job, that is fucking disgusting.
Oh, it is.
That's fucking disgusting. Why, like, these dudes, like, they will like to see other people's lives ruined just because the people in Brazil are on national alert, warning other countries about the passport bros and their behavior.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it.
So these dudes are disgusting. They really are disgusting.
They are beyond disgusting. I mean, earlier I was saying that since they're U.S. citizens, they're not going to get away with it that easily just because they're out of the United States borders. Because even I think Bush signed a law in 2006 or 2000, something around that time that
when he was getting out of office, or way out of office.
No, he was still in office. I think it's that even though that they're not in U.S. jurisdiction, if they travel overseas, they can still be busted for prostitution with a child. Yes.
Yeah.
That was this one white guy. I think he was a English tutor in the Philippines, and he was doing weird stuff to them, and they got his ass. Now I think he's serving. Sure, I think he's serving in a Philippine jail, or I need to look him up.
Yeah, and they also got what's his name? So Andrew Tate. Give me 1 second.
I think.
Should I play this on audio? Can you guys hear?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me see.
But doxing, in fact, is probably worse than getting a strike put on you.
No. All right. So you know what? What?
Doxing's real bad. It's more dangerous. See, people. The man said that a strike is dangerous, which is not true. Doxing is dangerous because you're giving out information, personal information about somebody to the world.
So it's saying that you are scamming people.
No, that's not nearly as close. Everybody says that. People said I was scamming people. You've heard people talk derogatorily about me. I know you have, including Big J, right?
DJ Toy.
Big J. In fact, let me make a point here. Remember when Big J was talking about my glasses?
No, I missed that. I missed that part.
Okay, well,
What
he
you
was talking
saying?
about my glasses with his, and then I saw a photo that you had of him, and he got on glasses bigger than mine. The thing is that the thing is this. I understand what the point you're trying to get to, but it has to be doled out both ways. Okay. The number one thing is this: Pesa was not here to explain or defend his portion of this situation. That
I don't care if Peso Man is here to defend anything. He made a.
Then that's fine. Then we should drop it then, right?
Okay, so just I'm gonna get it back in a minute, but like just saying, I have to go back to what that whoever was caught was saying that they're gonna report Tam's report
Accusation.
Tam's Peso's video to Tam's job. It's
Mhm.
like saying, "I'm gonna tell your mommy."
Yeah, exactly.
Like whining, "I'm gonna tell your mommy." You know, just a bunch of guys who don't want to grow up.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they want to run to somebody else's mom to get them in trouble. Like that is so childish. Instead of just owning up, yeah, like we went down there to have sex, but not with underage girls. That's all you have to say.
Exactly.
Like dumb. I don't understand that.
And to nip it at the bud, if they really wanted to get their rocks off, like going abroad, they should have just kept it zip quiet. Don't post nothing on the internet, nothing like that.
Exactly.
It's like self-incriminating. You know what?
Go ahead.
This trend with BM has
Mhm.
started. You know what? When I watch a movie, Menace to Society, I'm sure you've seen it too.
Yeah, don't
where
be society.
yeah, where not Kane, O-Dog, he was showing that surveillance tape where he robbed a Korean liquor store and he shot the Korean owner, and he's bragging, saying, "I'm gonna sell these tapes for $59.95." I said, man, that's how these young men has got that idea from, putting out their crime in public platform.
Yeah, and they're gonna put out their crime at Tam's job. They're gonna get them.
Oh yeah.
Yep, they're gonna get them.
and then they wonder why white men
Yes.
Has
good at
anyone
getting away with
ever
crime.
copywritten
He copyrighted
stroke
Big J, and I don't
Peso? Yes or no? They have.
What's that?
Okay, they have copywritten stroke him.
Why did he
So
copyright?
what's the difference?
Why did he copy?
Why is it different? Why is it different for you? Why is it different for Big J than it is for Peso when it happens to Peso?
No, but why Big J?
No, you're trying to say you're not answering my question.
Peso.
You're not answering my question.
Peso. No,
you're not answering my question. You're
Just
just all
get
you're
on the
doing
rubber race panel.
is your point of view only.
Listen. People copyright strike people. I know, but if you're gonna play in the arena like Peso Man does and insult people, use their clip and put that whole thing up there.
So what you're saying is that the Passport Bros do not insult Peso, but Peso insults them.
Peso starts the beat.
When? I didn't say anything. I say, you know what I've seen? I've seen people, even in your chat, you've seen people insult me, and I've said nothing mean to them.
He did talk.
What should I do then?
Other people. Me.
They started it, right? So should I go to their channel and copyright strike them? Should I go to Jay's channel and copyright strike him for dissing me?
He did talk.
You see where I'm getting at?
All right, let's think about other YouTubers. He comes at me, and I don't go at Peso Man like that. I don't start with this guy. This guy continue to make video and then never copyright struck him, right? Now, if I would decide to do a Caribbean Casanova style edit and diss him, which I could diss Peso Man in an edit. And then that one video, he gets mad, he starts crying like a little girl, excuse me, Tam. He starts crying, and then he copyright strikes me. And I get a strike on my channel because I decided to go back for once against this guy.
Are you saying he did this, or are you making
I'm
this
saying
a hypothetical situation?
Sure, I did not do an edit. But if I was to do an edited video against him, and he was a copyright strike me, what would you say? Would you say that's not playing fair? Isn't that a bitch move?
I would have to see the video.
No, he did it against Big J. And I don't like Big J. but he did it against Big J. Big J never copyrighted.
Did Big J make any threats? Yes or no?
He never copyright.
Did he make threats? Yes or no?
We talk about copyright.
Did he make threats? Yes or no?
Dude, we talk about.
Can you answer that question? You saw the video, right? Did he make threats? Yes or no?
All right, you know what? All right. Hey, who else want to talk? Anybody else want to talk? Because this is.
Yeah, I want to say something. Hey, Torch, I never did nothing to Pencil Man, and he posted my video on his channel. And I thought that was some bullying shit, and I just saw it. And
I would
was
have
like,
to see the video. You're
bro, I don't give a fuck. He had it on for charge, and then he took it off.
You're asking me to believe you right off the bat. I can't do that,
dude. And then people were saying nasty shit in the comments.
What you're not understanding what I'm saying is send me the video. Send me the link.
Come on, dog. Bro,
send me the link. But don't tell me any stories.
Dog. He raised. You know what? I'm not gonna argue with you, dog.
I ain't even getting mad. I'm just telling you. I'm going to look at the video. That's it.
It's not on there. He took it off after 2 hours. Poppy, what part of that?
Nothing I can do about it then. I didn't see it.
DJ Torch, you sound like a lawyer for Peso Man.
You don't have to, bro. You don't have to.
I'm not a lawyer. I just like facts.
No.
I photo screened those comments of those people. Oh, I hope they start drugging them overseas. I photo screened all those comments. Like, even my cousin was like, bro, what the fuck is that?
I am very sorry I did not see that video, but I don't see the video. You're asking me to vouch for something I didn't see. It's that simple.
Yeah, you sound like DJ Torch. You sound like a Peso Man lawyer. Is he paying you?
No, I'm sounding like a very logical person.
No, he copyright struck Big J, and he did that.
Now you're going to copyright struck Big Dre, but after calling me a lawyer.
What?
What's wrong with me seeing some damn proof? What's wrong with that?
Big J put it on his thing. He put it in his.
I haven't watched. I don't watch Big J.
He copyright struck Big J.
Okay. The only thing I know is this: is that I was told that Big J dropped some diss video, and I was part of the diss video. I did not watch the video because I can care less what Big J and other demented people do, because I got another life.
So you guys don't care if he gets it.
Okay, so they're crying about a copyright strike, right? You see how they're whining to Tam and DJ about the copyright strike. Why can't they appeal it out at YouTube if they feel like it was falsely flagged?
Mm-hmm.
That would make more sense than to argue with somebody about a damn flag strike video.
I don't know. These guys are weird. You know what? I just I don't know if it's a blackmail thing or whatever, especially the ones that are, I guess, not into the rap culture or whatever.
No, they into that rap culture, or else they would not be acting like that.
Okay, no, it's a different type of black guy. No, I had this guy on a YouTube channel I subscribe to. He posts mostly about collecting model airplanes, which I'm into.
Mm-hmm.
And you click on the community tab, and then he shared this thing from 21 Studios where this guy named Anthony Dream Johnson, a red pill white guy, says this is his words, a cold, harsh red pill truth is that America has the lowest quality women on earth today, the fattest, most unhealthy, promiscuous, manly, green hair, huge depths, unfeminine, entitled vegan weirdos who dress in rags. So far from marriage material, it should make your jaw drop. And the guy posts Facts 100. Like, is it really a black American male thing to share this? Let me see if I can send you that link.
I can't play it on
no, not play.
First live, but I can play it on my live. Well, when I go live.
No, I'll just send you a link on the private chat.
Yeah, because these dudes sound so damn ridiculous. It's stupid. Like they're not making any arguments here. Like, what is specifically your argument? Because there's a lot of exchange words being thrown around, but what is your specific argument here?
Mm-hmm.
None of it's being made.
Earlier, Peso Man was on a 3-hour live with all of them on there, and they were talking about the past for Rose, and they were applauding what Peso Man did to that brother's channel. So the fact that she like is exactly what Roll the Tape said. She's coming on here and trying to act as if she's goody two shoes, and she's not. You can talk about me all day about what I say and these death threats and all this other stuff, but here's the thing: I have a right to. No, hold on, wait a minute. I'm being professional. I'm not. No, hold on. I'm not.
Oh, we got evidence. So he's sitting there arguing with Tam about her being a two shoes, but there's evidence of him sending threats to Peso Man, to DJ Torch, to Tam. Tam can actually take that to the DA's office and say, "Hey, this guy needs to be put under the jail. This dude just threatened me." You know,
she definitely could.
She sure in the hell could.
I mean, I don't know why Tam is not doing it swiftly. Maybe she is very busy with a lot of cases she has to deal with, and then again, sometimes the police barely do anything to deal with online threats. Because it happened to me before. Some weirdo, because I was on Facebook and some weird, I don't know, man or female was saying all kind of weird things. Go ahead.
Making threats against a lawyer is a federal crime.
Oh, I bet. Let me see.
Yes. So she will have something on him, and she can have him under the jail just by those threats that he made.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna get back to the video. To live, actually.
AKA Pissy Man is upset, and he is in fear, so he blocked me. But that's okay because I'm gonna.
Oh, you know what, DJ Torch, they barely they brought Tam back, but okay, they brought DJ Torch
blocked me because he knew I was exposing him. Here's the thing: people need to understand that the Passport Bros are here to stay. It's exactly what the other brother said. Like I said, I will be in Medellin. I will be in Medellin tomorrow, and it's my choice if I decide to trick or whatever I decide to do. It is my choice with my money. The same goes to any Passport Bros. What Peso Man has been doing, to go back to your question, Razor Rays, about the whole thing, what Peso Man did is wrong. Every last one of us could go on Peso Man's channel.
And what is Peso Man doing that is wrong? They need to elaborate more on that.
Yeah.
Because they say, "Oh, Peso Man is wrong. He's putting us in danger." Okay, how? Elaborate on that. How is DJ Torch putting you guys' lives in danger? They're not even elaborating on it. They're just complaining. That's all they're doing.
Listen, Peso Man was exposed, so he blocked me. Peso Man was exposed, so he blocked me. And the thing about it is, Razor, if you go back and look at their channel, all they do is talk about Passport Bros. All they do is talk about Passport Bros. And Tam isn't, listen, Tam, Peso Man, they can never cam up. They can never cam up. They're upset that the Passport Bros. They're upset with Passport Bros. They're upset that we're going over there and we're doing what we do. They're upset. They're upset about it.
Less about where you go.
Listen, they're upset. You interrupted me.
Right? Why can't everybody talk at once? Right? Then how the hell did Jay get my photos?
Who got your Hey, yo, get the likes up and subscribe.
You know what?
He got my photos, dude. How do you think he got them?
Look at this. Every time, listen, Razor, you got to go back and look at Peso Man. DJ Torch and Tam, they're trolls. They are trolling. They're on Pace. They're Peso Man followers. They talk trash about Passport Bros. Passport Bros are here to stay. We will not go anywhere. We're not going anywhere. We are not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere.
Whatever you want.
And here's the thing. Stop talking.
Excuse me, sir. Someone go ahead and sign that.
Stop talking.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna go ahead get off the panel for now. It's getting late.
All right. Go ahead.
Okay. Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Toxic behavior. Okay. Tam. Listen, people need to understand this about this. All right.
So it's okay.
Passport bros are here to stay. We are here. We're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere.
All right.
The sooner you guys realize it, the better. Razor.
The moderator saw what he said.
As I said, DJ Torch is an old man. He's an old man. He's upset. Him and Peso Man. Listen. Him and Peso Man fear me, so they blocked me, so I can't speak the truth. He feared me, so they blocked me. They blocked me, but it's okay because my voice.
Hold on, I gotta move because if everybody's talking, the crowd can't hear. I'm gonna bring y'all back up. But
no, do the right thing. Control the chat a little bit.
My case, and then you can bring them up. In fact, I'll just leave out.
I mean, I be having problems with muting people, so I want to.
All right, listen. At the end of the day, DJ Torch.
Wait, can I finish my point first?
No, you can't.
I never made my point. No,
you can't. You can't finish it. But let me tell you something.
No, I can. I can't finish it.
All right. Well, let me say something.
Okay.
Everybody's
I didn't finish my point when the dude was up here. I get to finish my point first. I didn't even get to start my point. The point is this.
Start your point. Go ahead.
This man made a death threat towards me and Tam. He said he's going to gut us with a knife. You tell me how that's cool.
What you do? If you feel your life is threatened, then report it to YouTube.
Okay, you saw it. You heard him, Johnny. You heard him, Johnny. I'm going to report you to YouTube, Johnny. He told me to report you.
So if somebody threatens my life,
we got receipts.
I understand it.
Remember, Johnny.
I'm gonna let you finish. Go ahead.
I'm gonna go out to DJ because
he told me to do it, Johnny. I'm good now. I can go.
Tim, don't go nowhere. You
No, I'm not.
Let that Peso troll go. That Peso follower, let her go. Let her go. Let that troll go. Let that Peso man, aka let her go. Let her go. She's a follower. She's a Peso man follower. Let her go. She's a Peso man follower. Let her go. She's toxic. She's ugly.
Okay, that was interesting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There was no point. Like, I don't even know what they're talking about. And
Yeah.
I was just talking to Anthony before he left the panel that Tam is a lawyer. She can report those death threats to her office.
Right.
So basically, all that stuff that he sent to her, she can report it to his office, and he can get arrested and prosecuted for that. I'm telling you, these men are dumb. They're so dumb. Like, these dudes don't even make any sense whatsoever. Like, they sit up there and they said that, oh, Peso Man, oh, he threatened me, or whatever they say about Peso Man, they're not elaborating on why Peso Man is putting Austin in danger, or whatever Peso Man is saying about his videos. They're not elaborating. They're complaining.
Right. Exactly. You nailed it.
Yeah, they're not like these dudes. Like, they fear Peso because they know that their movement is going underwater. It's a sinking ship.
Exactly. I believe so too. I believe that too, because they weren't pushing as hard or as upset as they are now.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's a very good point.
Yeah, so that's why they're saying, oh, the Passport Bros movement is here to stay. But it looks like your Passport Bro movement is being destroyed by the foreigners in that country because of who messed it up? Austin Holloman. So instead of going after Peso, they should be going after Austin because he messed up the movement.
Right. Exactly. I call it sore loser syndrome.
Yeah.
They want to blame the other party for the mistakes they made themselves.
Exactly.
Because they could have checked him before he went too far.
Yeah, Tam is left up there to defend herself, but she's a lawyer. She can handle it.
Yeah, she'll be fine. If I were her, I would just leave because
Yeah.
the fact that we got their own people to say to strike down their own people, but about the threats. You heard the guy. I said, hey, he made a threat, and I said, what do you think about that? And their panel said,
Mhm.
well, you should report him.
Exactly, and that's what it's exactly you should do.
Yeah, I mean, really, quite honestly, the only fault that I feel that Tam has is she stays in too long. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You get your win and then you get out. And
Yeah, make your point and don't stay long.
yeah,
Yeah.
because they're just going to wait until they think they have something on you, or
Yeah,
they're winning.
exactly. So I don't think they have nothing on Tam. I think they're just complaining and their butt hurt because their movement is being dismantled.
Exactly. Well, that's what happened was when I wanted to make a point, and I would debate a point like that point about when I was saying, well, they doxed, they doxed, they doxed Peso.
Mhm.
They should say, well, there's two things you can do. You can say, okay, I see your point. Peso got doxed, and it's the way it goes on YouTube, right?
Mhm.
Or you say what is that worth? Because they were trying to say, well, what were they saying? They would say, oh yeah, getting somebody copywritten strike is dangerous. How's that dangerous? Getting doxxed
Right.
is dangerous because everybody and their mother knows your location. You
Yeah,
see what I'm
they
saying?
kind of they complaining about a copyright strike instead of just appealing it to YouTube.
Right.
Don't stop complaining about a copyright strike. Everybody, I bet millions of people on this platform get copyright strike. You guys are not the only ones. And it
Right.
only stays for 30 days.
Exactly.
So I don't
Yeah.
even know what they're talking about.
Well, they don't like Peso. So they're trying to, even though, believe it or not, his channel would, believe it or not, he doesn't know. Razor Ray may or may not know, but his channel would probably be gone without Peso's drama. That gives his men the oomph to want to log in and see what's going on with Peso and all that kind of stuff. He doesn't understand that's what's going down, or he does understand, but he wants to seem like it's Peso who's the only one doing the dirt. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's why I kind of saw where he was trying to go, where he was trying to make it seem like he's trying to get me or Tam to sound like that we're caving in on
And
Peso.
Tam
That's
is still
basically
on
it.
the panel. She should leave.
Yeah, I told her to leave, but I can't make her leave.
Yeah.
There's nothing there for her now. She won.
Yeah.
She either won or she lost. It's one or the other. It's kind of like when you play football. It's like today the Tampa Bay Bucks, they lost.
Mhm.
They can't be in the game. They don't have to play no more.
Mhm.
I think Tam won, but she likes to argue her point. So
Well, she is a lawyer, so lawyers.
yeah,
But
but
I
she ain't
think
getting paid.
she ain't
She
getting
ain't
paid to
getting
argue.
paid though.
She ain't getting paid to argue with them.
No, not a bit.
But it's for me. This is just practice for her. You know what I mean?
I hope that's what it is. I mean, I
Mhm.
hope so. But I think it stresses her out too much, and it's stressful enough being a lawyer. So that's why I'm like, wait a minute, you ain't getting paid from talking to these low lives, so you should just leave.
Right.
And so, but hey, and they know, and then they're in there, and it's weird because they're saying you should know better. You're a lawyer and all this kind of stuff, and they see that she's classy. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But they're just going to attack her for it. So I don't know.
Yeah, I guess they're attacking her because she's a woman. And these guys, they can't face a man. They will never face a man. And they're not even facing Peso.
Right. Well, see, to me, this is where they fall apart.
Mhm.
Johnny was in the room, right?
Mhm.
they've seen, see, that's why I kept repeating, you've seen the note, because both Razor Rays and his moderator saw the proof of the threat that Johnny made to Tam and I. Okay. With that said, he really technically should be blocked from their channel.
Yeah.
So they're talking all this integrity crap, right? But they themselves aren't showing any integrity.
No.
Because if they would, Johnny would be banned.
Right.
Okay. Now the thing is that they already did say, okay, if Johnny did do that, you should report him. But you would think they would say, well, if it's true, we will ban him. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they were trying to make, if they were trying to make Peso Man's copyright strike a threat and such a horrible thing, well, what do you think about a death threat? You see what I'm
That's
saying?
way worse than a copyright strike.
Exactly.
That a copyright strike is only 30 days. A death threat is a lifetime.
Exactly.
So basically, you know, that can be reported to a higher authority. You know?
Right.
But these guys, you know, they got their priorities on backwards, and they will be forever lost unless they change their ways. But I'm going to get out of here. I'll catch you in the next live. Bye.
Got you. Hey, thanks for coming through.
No problem.
All right, everybody. I think it's been late enough. It's almost 11. I got to get up in the morning. Thank you, everyone, for coming through. We'll see you on the next one. I hope you like the drama. Bye. Well, you know something? We're going to do it really relaxed next time.